What's up, you guys? I'm Jasper, and this is JJ Vids. Today, we're going to be doing a little inspection on the IS300, but we're going to be looking underneath it. We've got a couple squeaks going on right now, and I'm also going to show you guys the BC Racing Coilovers I have on this car, so stay tuned. This is going to be an example of the noise right here when it hits the ground. So that's the noise that we're attempting to fix by greasing up the ball joints right now. So we'll see if that does it. So we had a squeak coming from this car, and what the mechanic says is that I had no grease up in my ball joints. So we're just going to grease those up right now. We're going to see if that fixes the problem. Yeah, it sits nice and don't hear the noise. Here's a startup for you guys. It's not cold, but sounds really nice. Super acoustic, not that raspy, but it's still a deep sound. Very good. Ooh, that sounds nice. Wow, that sounds really nice. I've never heard it from the back before. Wow. Man, you can feel the air blow on my, wow, that's catless for you. Damn, smells good. Yeah, into the sunlight, I love that paint. We're getting resprayed soon, but it's getting resprayed the same color, let's put it that way. Man, beautiful car. This thing never gets old. That pop though. Man, if you have an IS300 that sounds like that, leave a comment below. I want to hear it. And just got back to the shop. This thing sounds majestic. It is amazing. So we're just going to lift this thing up again. We got to take off an O2 spacer because we're getting a little rattle from underneath. But I think after that, we should be good to go and we should be ready to drive again. So let's see if we can take this thing off. Right, so we're back underneath the engine bay right now. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. As you can see right there, that's my first O2 spacer. We're going to keep that one on because that one's not causing us the rattle. It's this one that's causing us the rattle right here, the secondary O2 spacer, because what I did in order to attempt to pass smog without catalytic converters, I put one O2 spacer here, and then I put a secondary O2 defouler right over here as well. And what an O2 defouler is, I'm going to post a picture again right up here of what that is. But it basically just minimizes the airflow from the pipe to the O2 sensor, so it makes your monitors read right.
It's gonna probably smoke a little bit.
Yeah, it's pretty stuck on there right now, so you just have to put some solution on there to kind of loosen it up a bit. Yeah, it is totally smoking. But look at that, it comes right off. What solution was that? The Freol. There you go, if you guys have any problems. Just gonna be taking off the defouler right now. Perfect. So that was the secondary diffuser I had on there. All right, just to show you guys, this was the noise that we had whenever I would push on the gas. This doesn't really fit, you know, super snug, so it's a little bit loose, so watch this. Just rattle, rattle, rattle. Every time I would press on the gas, the entire time while I was driving. So we're done with that. We got that off. This is the primary one. We're just gonna hook that back up to the O2 sensor and then call it the game, or call it the day. I'm just going to do a little overview of what I did underneath here. So like I told you guys in previous videos, I have these OBX headers right here with an O2 spacer for smog reasons. And then this OBX header breaks into this Y pipe right here, catless Y pipe, which was made by Shade 12 Fab. And it's a really great upgrade to this because it's really solid welds, as you can see right here, and it's a 3.5-inch pipe, which mends with what I did with the headers as well as what I did back here. And back here is the Greddy SP Catback exhaust. So usually the way this car would be set up is that right here we would have 2 primary cats up there. We would have our secondary cat right here, and then it would basically stop right here, and this is where the catback system starts. So this catback system, has the resonator in it. It just comes right underneath here, has a really nice fitment underneath here. It just fits perfectly. The Greddy embossings right there, and then right here is the Greddy SP exhaust. And this is a little bit different from what you're normally going to see on a lot of these cars, because the most common Greddy exhaust you'll see on these IS300s is the RS exhaust. And the RS, I'm going to post a picture right up here, that has a much smaller muffler on it, so it creates a much more raspy type of sound. This muffler right here, it's a much bigger muffler. It's made for a more quiet application. Therefore, it makes this car sound a lot more acoustic than raspy.
Shit, those things are on there.
It's good.
That just tells me how hot the hub gets in there.
Yeah. All right, so underneath here, this is why we took off the rim right here. I wanted to show you guys the BC Racing Coilovers that I have all the way around on this car. This is the BR series, which from my understanding, it's about the mid-level BC Racing shock. And the cool thing about these shocks right here is that these don't compromise your ride quality. I really wanted to keep the factory characteristics of this car in terms of making it ride like a Lexus and not like a race car everywhere I go, because of how many miles I put on the car. And these do a really good job of that, but they also do a really good job of handling in the canyons. They have a dampening adjustment up here on top. If you pop the hood, I'll show you guys in a little bit. And if you adjust that dampening all the way soft, it rides honestly better than factory. But if you tighten that up all the way, the car gets so tight to the point to where it's like a go-kart, and it handles so much better in the canyons. And I have obviously the same shock all the way around on this car. I also did new lower control arms on both sides, just because I drive a lot in the canyons, and my ball joints went out on me a few times, so I also just took the liberty of replacing that, made sure I was good to go for hitting the canyons. And then back here, I have the same, as you can see, the same BR coilovers here. Under here, I replaced the factory camber and tow arms with the Godspeed aftermarket adjustable camber and tow arms, so it just makes it to where I have a little bit more adjustability when I'm in the canyon, so I can really spec it to the way I want. And these are really reliable. I did a cross-country road trip earlier this year. It was about 15,000 miles, and these have been on this car well before then. And I mean, I must have put at least 30,000 miles since then, and they're doing really well. So that is kind of what we have back here in the rear. And then here's the engine bay right here. Pretty much this is what I was talking to you guys before about the adjustable dampening on the BC Racing coilovers. These are actually set to a little bit more stiff, so I'm just going to dial both of them back right now to the softest setting in order to get my OEM ride back, because I was doing a bit of drifting in the canyon before, but that's not going down anymore until we get new tires, so we're back in factory mode. And then you got the OBX headers right there. There's a little bit of residue, as you can see. I tried powder coating these headers, failed miserably. As soon as we started the car up, the headers get up to 1,500 degrees. That powder coat came off so fast, it just bubbled off, smelled terrible. So I would never recommend powder coating your headers, but here they are anyways. Then other than that, we got the Mishimoto radiator, and that's pretty much it. That's surprising. I've already put like 3,500 miles on this oil change. Hard miles. Oh, one thing I didn't mention to you guys earlier, so I have the Mishimoto radiator. Another thing that I did, I completely forgot about it, but I also did the full silicone heater hoses, the top and the bottom, and then I did the, what was it, the heater hoses in the rear as well?
The rear heater core hoses.
The rear heater core hoses, all with the silicone Mishimoto like this, and it's been working great. And you can see down there as well, there's a silicone hose as well. Yep. I will tell you guys right now, a notorious issue that came in all these IS300s, SC300s, GS300s, whatever mid-90s Lexus that came with the 2JZ GE naturally aspirated 3-liter motor in it, they all had a notorious problem for this powered steering pump to either go out or have a powered steering fluid leak. And I've had this issue in this car already, and I've had this issue in a previous Lexus that I've owned with the same motor, and that's in this car as well. So keep that in mind for all you guys. Or should I say a warm start? Paint looks so good. All right, you guys, that's going to wrap up today's video. If you guys like the content, if you guys like the IS300 Sportcross, please be sure to give me a like and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.